So, are we back? Seems like it. Oh shit, which... Okay, so I don't remember which toggle I've got the, Great. I don't think that I've got the windowed app on a toggle, it seems. What the hell? So let me see here. Is this Tide or how's the volume?
Lesson to be learned. You might like a steak today, but you won't like that same steak in 4 years.
Everything has an expiration date, and this one had it. But anyway, guys, these are the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything's all...
Let me actually take that volume down a couple of notches. But... Alright. I think it's okay. Alrighty then, let me go ahead and just kind of tweet out again that I guess I'm back. Well, at least this is familiar. Twitter's still taking its happy ass time. Alright, so fine, basic notice. I have tweeted letting everybody know that I have got the computer back. So, yeah. I guess we are back. So I appreciate you guys for sticking through all that and kind of hanging in there with me, because oh my god, that took a while. Part of the reason why I don't like restarting this computer is that it does actually take a little bit for it to kind of get its brains back and reload everything to what I was working on and stuff. It also probably doesn't help that I'm one of those that has like a whole bunch of different windows and tabs and stuff open at all times, because like I'm usually working in a bunch of different things. I really probably need to go ahead and close most of that out before I stream and just reboot the computer completely, just so that it at least is in its best state before I start stream. Annoying. Anyway, So, Lumi, I don't know if you're still there or not, but you wanted to see that dry aged in honey. So I'm kind of curious about that too, so I want to go check that out. So let's go ahead and click on that and just kind of see where that goes. And I guess I'll just kind of check and see where this is stability wise. But in a nutshell, the 4 years, the dry aged 4-year steak, that was kind of like more of a, I forgot my shit in the back of the fridge, in the back of the freezer. And so here we are, or the back of the fridge, like the dry aging thing, the dry age fridge. You know, that's, I kind of went through something not unlike that recently. Kind of at the bare bones of my own fridge and stuff, but you know, the dregs of my freezer, the things that, you know, you just kind of let sit in the back and you totally forget about that stuff. Yeah, I had a little bit of my own experience with that just recently.
This video. I know what you're thinking. Why would you put honey on a steak and dry age it? I know it sounds crazy, but let me explain. If you Google what does honey do to meat, look what comes up. Honey works like pineapple juice that can also tenderize meat. Wait a second, it can work like pineapple? Well, I've done some crazy experiments with it, and it breaks down meat like there's no tomorrow. And as far as tenderizing, it is the best tenderizer there is for meat. Just make sure not to leave it too long, if not your meat will disintegrate. So I wanted to learn more, and I googled honey in meat, and here's what came up. The natural enzymes in honey should help tenderize meat quicker, similar to pineapple, kiwi, milk, and even yogurt. Wait a second, yogurt? I've also done that experiment, and the results were shocking. The things that yogurt does to meat is quite impressive. Also, you can't marinate the meat too long, as the process will continue and your meat will turn into mush. Your meat will turn into mush? Oh boy, I gotta run this experiment. So the first and most important thing to do was I had to choose the right honey for this experiment. So when I googled how many types of honey are there, the results were 300 different types. How do I know which one is best? Alright, how about this? Which honey contains the most enzymes? Manuka honey? Never heard of it. Manuka honey has a considerable higher level of enzymes than regular honey, so I went ahead and bought the best one I could find.
Well, okay.
This is Manuka honey. It is not your everyday honey bear honey. It is not runny, it has a wonderful smell, and it's actually delicious. And as far as how good it spreads, take a look. Unlike regular honey, it's not really runny, so it's gonna be perfect for dry aging steak. So the next thing to do, you already know. And for that, I chose this beautiful piece of meat. It is a 3 bones rib roast. To really find out how honey is gonna affect the meat, I decided to
That ribeye looks so good.
That way we can use one piece to dry age the traditional way, and the other one is gonna be with honey. And my hopes is that honey dry age is gonna be 10 times better than the traditional version. Talking about traditional version, if you wanna do it at home, you can use these dry age bags. They make the job super easy. You just gotta put them in the bag, vacuum seal them, put it in a cooling rack, and let it rest in your refrigerator for the amount time you desire. The honey, on the other hand, takes some work. The first thing we need to do is to spread a little bit in some parchment paper because things are about to get messy. Once that's done, I put my rib roast right on top. And the next thing is one of the most satisfying experiments I've ever done, and that would be to cover the whole thing with honey. The smell from the honey is extremely intoxicating in a very good way, and even though this is not that easy to do, it is extremely satisfying. So I went ahead and continued working the spatula.
I don't know if I call that satisfying, but okay.
Perfectly covered.
You're icing a steak
Once I was done,
or a
this
roast.
is what it looks like. That, friends, is something you do not see every day. And my hopes is that this is going to be the best dry age I've ever done. The only thing left to do now is to let it rest in my refrigerator for a total of 35 days.
30. Wow.
Once the time was up, I took it out and take a look at this. Some of the honey dripped down to the tray, but a lot of it just crystallized on top of the meat. And as you can see between the bones, it looks like it preserved the meat perfectly. And believe it or not, it smells even better than when it went in. If there's one thing I've learned with dry aging experiment is to listen to your nose. So far so good, but we still have to open this thing. And for that, I grabbed a butter knife and started to go to work. And as you might have already guessed it, it is impossible to remove the whole thing. Most of the sugar has crystallized on the meat. Some are soft, others are hard, but all of them are sticky. So I did my best to try to remove all of it. And once I was done, this is what it looks like. This is the world's first dry-aged honey experiment, and it was going really well until now, because the smell went from wonderful to really bad. Do you see the discoloration of the meat right here? That is
Yeah.
oxidation, but not like any oxidation, it's turning out a little green, and I can tell right away that the bones have to go. So I grabbed my knife and started to work with it. But once I took it out, take a look at this. That is beautifully red in the middle, but the bones on the other hand, it smells really bad. The inside looks phenomenal though. I say let's go ahead and keep this experiment going. Obviously, like every dry age, you will have some lost, and this one is no different, because take a look how red this part is, and the other side is just no good. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim even more. You see, I need to dig even deeper. Check out the difference in coloration. One thing I can tell you immediately is that the honey really penetrated the meat, so I had to go to town and remove a lot of the pellicles. And as I was doing so, I got super excited because it is extremely tender. But I did my best, and once I was done, this is what I was left with.
Okay.
Oh, 2 bones rib roast, I only got 1 steak. 1 steak. It
Yeah.
better be real good. And as you can see, it looks fantastic. And for comparison, don't forget that we did the real dry age one. After removing it from the umai bag, it looks exactly like I expected. And as I sliced the bone off so that we have a fair comparison, look, perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. Now, as you already know, all I have to do is to remove all of the pellicles. And as I was doing so, I was left with some beautiful steaks. That is what meat lovers dream of.
So he got
Perfectly dry age, exactly
2
the way
steaks
I like
out of the
it.
standard dry age, but he only got
I was
1.
left with 2 beautiful steaks. But now that we got our beautiful steaks ready, the only thing left to do is to season them. And for that, I want to keep it really simple because I want to taste the beef. So I first started
Salt,
with a good
pepper.
amount of salt. Once that was done, I finished it off with black pepper. Because trust me, after you went through all that work, the last thing you want is to put off flavor on these steaks. But now that we got them seasoned, the only thing left to do is to cook them. And for that, I'll be putting a beautiful sear first. Once that's done, I'll be using my wireless thermometers to cook them until they reach an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. So now I say, it is enough talking and it is time to cook.
I kind of want
So
those
let's
wireless
do it.
thermometers. I hope he was at least using hardwood briquettes and not like, the compressed. Like if he was using hardwood lump charcoal, that's cool. Which that's what it looks like. Because anything else would just be a waste unless you're going with straight wood.
Before moving forward, I want to thank today's sponsor, HelloFresh. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and what I'm eating right now is one of their amazing recipes. Every week when I come back from my order, I am amazed of the variety of the recipes that I can choose from their huge menu. And now their selection is getting bigger and better every week, including quick breakfasts, lunches, and some additional proteins and sides and awesome desserts. You save so much time with HelloFresh that you can skip that grocery store trip and get everything you need to make chef-curated meals right to your door. If you know me, you know I don't like to waste any food. So I really enjoyed that with HelloFresh you get pre-portioned ingredients so there is no wasted food. It is very flexible and you can set your delivery preferences. Some weeks I like to add extra meals, and other weeks if I know I'm not going to be home, I can just skip that week. They are committed to making fresh, delicious food available, and they take extra steps to keep their employees and customers safe. Look, let me show you. Today I got my box with all my fresh ingredients. And I'm doing an Italian chicken and pepper sando with some delicious potato wedges. Prep and cook is super easy. Take a look at that. Come on now. Give it a try. Go to HelloFresh.com and use my code GUGA12 to get 12 free meals, including free
I hear
shipping.
HelloFresh is
Again,
actually
that's
pretty
simple.
good,
Just go to
but
HelloFresh.com
I
and
also
use my
hear
code
some bad
GUGA12
things
to
about
get
as far
12
as like,
free meals, including free shipping.
if
Thank
they're
you,
like a
HelloFresh, for
sponsor and
sponsoring this video,
stuff.
But now let's get right back and try this insane
No,
honey
no, no.
dry aged steaks. All right, everybody, here we have our beautiful steaks today. Are you hungry, Angel?
I'm hungry, but you know when you put 2 steaks in front of me, what it does to my mind, right?
Yes, I know. It's an experiment. Yes, that's
Yeah,
what you're
no, I
thinking. It
know.
automatically start
Yeah,
triggering your brain cells and going like, oh, wait a second here.
I sit down in this chair, and you always bring something.
That
And
is-
when you bring it out, I look at it, I'm like,
Let me tell you something. Your brain is correct, my friend.
look, guys, going into this, I already smelled the steak like 5 times.
It smell good?
Smell good.
So here's the deal. Very honest opinion. I want to know if it's good, bad, or ugly. You just let us know. Sound like a plan?
No, it's not ugly.
No, it's not ugly. What
Looks
about the
good.
taste? You don't know about the
That's
taste.
the part that I can't tell you yet.
All right, let's go. We'll go for this one here first. It is so tender. One of the things that you guys cannot see when I was slicing these wonderful steaks is how tender it is, everybody. It is
Yeah,
extremely
I
tender.
will say that it's tender. I cut it, and then it didn't go all the way through, so I just pulled it apart.
It was
And it
resistance.
just didn't even do anything for it.
Zero
It was
resistance.
just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm breaking.
That
All right, enough
ribeye
chit-chatting. Let's
does
try
look
this.
good.
Cheers,
Cheers.
everybody.
Although it doesn't look very heavily marbled. I'm kind of surprised.
Oh, dude.
I
Wow.
missed that. Oh, man. It's been a while.
I'm about to say this.
Uh.
It has been a while since I had some dry aged steak. Yeah?
Not overpowering the amount of dry aginess.
Dude, that's the perfect amount.
Wonderful flavor that just stays in your mouth. The steak is extremely juicy, tender to the max, beefy flavor. That little, look at that, look at that. Look at that. You enjoy it?
That's a good one.
Okay,
That's
so I gotta
culinary,
admit,
everybody, it is phenomenal. I highly recommend. it.
Dry
For the next
aging-
one, since you know that this was a good one, you know this.
aging
is
this
gonna be an
aging the
experiment.
meat
so I
is
know that This is
important.
the good one. So I know that that's the one I'm afraid of.
I'm afraid of this one here too, and you should be, yeah. Nah, I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding.
I'm not sure,
I'm
actually.
joking.
Oh my God.
I'm joking. I'm joking. It's just a joke. All right, let's see. Just as tender. Did you slice it?
No, I have not
Try
tried
it.
yet.
No, he doesn't trust your eyes.
Just as tender, huh?
This is more tender.
This is more tender. Oh, it smells wonderful. Cheers, everybody.
I'm not dying today. Not that. Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe.
Wow.
But it doesn't taste like I'm gonna.
No, it is amazing. You went in scared.
I took the bite and I was like,
Oh,
Is this it?
wow.
is this it?
And it tastes different. Do you feel the difference? It tastes slightly different.
This is not dry aged.
No, it's not dry age whatsoever. It doesn't have that dry age flavor,
This
that
is-
strong dry age flavor.
I'll get that out of the way immediately. This one's not dry aged.
It is, but it is.
But it's not.
But it is.
Well,
Well, it's a weird experiment.
yeah, dude, this is tender. Look,
No.
I went to cut this whole piece.
Tender to the max. Do you
Almost came off.
feel
Look.
you don't feel a little hint of difference in flavor? Pay attention. There's a very unique flavor in there.
I like how he's
enjoy
trying to
that
lead.
quite a bit.
He's trying to lead Angel.
It is more tender. The fibers broke down more on the steak. It is missing one of that, I would say, 6 taste, right? Besides the umami.
It doesn't
which
have
is
the taste of dry age.
Exactly.
That's
It does not.
It's missing.
It's missing that
I
little
thought it was gonna have it.
kick on there. You know why? So this one is our regular dry aged steak, which we love and we are a huge fan of. And this one was dry aged in honey. In honey,
Oh, you
my
try
brother.
to put the honey on it?
Yes, and honey. I'm sure you guys are aware, which I mentioned on the video already, honey is a great tenderizers in different countries. So probably that's what happened. It penetrated a little bit in the meat there, and it tenderized the meat even more than this one
know
right
what?
here. Tell me.
You got a big chunk.
Yeah.
You put it dry aging with honey all over it.
Correct. It
And
is,
then you
by
went
the
with-
way, let me just be honest, all right?
Okay.
A complete nightmare, all right? It is a nightmare. It's sticky everywhere. You know, it's like, it's, you know, even after you clean it, it's still sticky. You know, I don't know, I don't recommend it, all right? I do not recommend it. If you want to try something extreme, do that.
Okay.
If you want a lot of work, and you want to get sticky all over, do it, all right?
Okay.
But I don't recommend it because it's just too much of a pain. How would you describe the flavor?
It's a little bit more flat. It's like,
This has more juice, more beefy flavor. This is less beefy flavor.
no. All right, so like it didn't get sweeter.
No.
It's more like neutral in sweetness, but like you have that little end of honey.
Here's the final verdict. For dry age, do you recommend the honey? Absolutely not. It is a complete waste of your time. You are going to get sticky up your nose, everybody. I'm telling you, don't do that at all. All right?
But if you're trying to just make it tender and
Yeah.
have the
You
same
know-
process as a dry age for no reason,
Listen, just do the regular dry age.
I'd
You're
be
gonna
more
have
worried
a-
about the fact that
All right?
he
The regular
basically
one is
split
better. I'll tell you one
3-bone
thing,
roast
I
in
learned a
half.
lot. You guys seen there was a little bit of mode, the white mode. I
And-
learned reading mode. Congratulations. Woohoo! Don't worry, I never let you down. I won't let you down now.
Okay, I hope I don't die.
You won't. Anyway, guys, these are the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do,
So the thing that bothers me more about this is the whole fact that, you know, sure, great. He did the dry age with the honey and whatever else, and quite frankly, you know, it tenderized the meat, but no, did it actually kind of put the patina on, like, you know, and give it like a dry age taste to it? No, it didn't. Which Angel very succinctly and multiple times pointed out. What bothers me more is the whole fact, okay, you know, the half of that 3-bone, he was still able to get 2 steaks out of for the standard dry aging. However, with the tenderizing and the oxidation and stuff on the honey version, he had to cut away. There was more waste on the honey side. He only got 1 steak out of that huge chunk, whereas he at least got 2 out of the normal dry aging process. That'd be a no-go for me right there, because you basically waste. You know, that's like wasting like, you know, half of that cut practically, because you only got 1 steak out of it. That ain't worth it. That's not cost effective. That's not cost effective at all. I can see using honey as a standard tenderizer, kind of like how you would use like pineapple. So if you want to do like an overnight marinade type of thing, sure. But like an extended marinade time, like as if you're dry aging, I don't see that as being worth it at all. That's just no. But yeah, you know what? Honestly, any meat that you have can benefit from at least aging it for a little bit. I learned this pretty quickly. How do I like my steaks? If I could get it sliced directly off the cow and just waved over a match, I'd be probably down with that. How do I like my steak? If you're asking, like, you know, what temperature, I prefer them rare. Rare to maybe medium rare at best. I don't really. I mean, if you go totally rare, where it's a cool purple blue kind of steak, I'm not that big a fan of. Wait, what the hell is going on? Steam was updating all this time, really? But so anyway. Really, and the only I prefer my steak warm, not cold. So the cool red center bit, I'd like at least be a warm red center, if I could. I'm not a fan. Once it gets like, you know, too pink, I just don't like it, because it starts getting tough and just like kind of overbearing, you know. Steak well done. It depends on the steak, right? If you were going to go ahead and have something like a fillet, and you had that well done, yeah, I would just basically I'd burn you with a steak as a heretic, right? Now, yes, everybody's got a preference and stuff like that, and you know, and whatever else. I get that, you know, so I'm not going to say anything about that, but certain cuts of meat don't do well when they're overcooked, right? You can get away with I think you can get away with overcooking a more well marbled cut, like for example a ribeye. That you can probably get away with actually doing more on the well side than you could with filet. If it's because like filet, the thing about filet is that it's a very lean cut. Right? And the problem with the lean cuts is that they dry out quick. So if you basically take a lean cut like a fillet and you do that to like well done, it dries out. And then that's when, and of course, once it's dried out and everything, that's when it's all tough and like shoe leather and crap like that. Okay. So that's the only thing about well. Now, growing up, well done was the way that my dad, the Filipino side of my family, basically, that's the way they cook meat. It's actually pretty hilarious because I remember like my oldest brother's wedding long time ago. They actually had steaks, and of course it was like, you have steaks, they were medium, to medium rare, depending. And I remember some of the older aunts and uncles, they were complaining about that meat's raw. Like, they wanted it well, they wanted to cook well, and then the chef wouldn't necessarily cook the meat. They didn't want to cook the meat well done. They didn't want to do the steaks, because they were serving filet at the actual wedding. And the chefs didn't want to take the steaks well because they didn't want to burn the meat. They didn't want to basically ruin the steak. And then meanwhile, the old folks were all sitting there going, "No, cook it well. I want it actually cooked." It was kind of funny, right? Which the whole thing, if it's pink, is it fully cooked? Fully cooked, it's all about temperature. Okay? If it actually reaches the target temperature of what you're trying to attain, like if you get to if it's medium, or even if it's okay, rare is slightly rare is, I guess you could still consider undercooked. I think medium is probably the point where most would agree that it's cooked, which if it's still pink. Honestly, if you cook it to a point where it's brown all through the insides, yeah, you've overcooked the thing. Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts. You've overcooked it. All the juices have run out. It's dry. If that's the way you like your meat, that's cool. But just understand, you just simply prefer your steaks, your meat overcooked. Okay. It was fully cooked long before it got to the shoe leather point. But hey, I also personally prefer when I fry bologna, for example, like thick cuts, I actually like charring the bologna. So I'm not gonna talk about other people's preferences of how they like their food and stuff. It's just the only part where I kind of take umbrage of any kind is, like I said, people who sit there and talk about it's not cooked unless it's brown, unless it's all brown on the inside. It's like, no, you just simply don't know how to properly cook a steak. You don't know how to properly cook meat. I'm gonna just go ahead and say that directly. That leather taste makes me feel alive. And that's good, because what you just put in your mouth is dead. Very dead. And again, I don't care. And people can have their preferences. I'm not going to be like all snobbish or whatever about this, that, or that. I'm just going to point out that, yes, from an actual technical perspective, yeah, cooking, did it actually reach the temperature to where all the bad stuff is actually killed? Then that's cooked. Okay. Anything beyond that, is overdoing it, or anything below that isn't enough, or whatever else, Now, that actually being said, I was actually in a Waffle House in Texas. So one time while I was actually away for work and stuff like that, and I decided, just for kicks, I decided I was going to go ahead and order the pork chops and stuff. And the cook, he kind of he was also the guy who took my order, whatever else. It was, it was a quiet day, so they were short staffed or whatever, or I don't know. They didn't have very many people there. But so at that point, he just asks, "Do you trust me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, dude's cooking my food, so he's kind of making me a little worried when he says that, but what he did was, and another meat that people very famously overcook is pork. Okay. These pork chops. So now, I've never had a rare pork chop, but pork chops are also one of those things that you get used to having, well done, because, people are afraid of the trypto. I forget the name of the, the bug, the historic, that pigs have been there's like a I don't remember if it's a parasite or a virus or something like that, but there's basically there's a baddie in pork that if you and that, which is where the whole thing, like, you know, you should never eat undercooked pork. The whole thing that comes from is the trypto something or other, I can't remember the name of. You're trying to make sure that that's dead. So in case that there is, like, you know, if the pig is infected with it or whatever else, you want to make sure that that thing is killed, because it apparently causes like brain damage or some shit like that. I don't remember the exact thing. I'd have to actually sit here and look it up. And yeah, I don't want to quite do that at the moment. But so yeah, so the pork chops you cook, but it's a lot like salmonella. It's like the chances are slim, you know, and it can happen. Now the getting that trip thing or whatever it is, like I said, in pigs, that's actually a lot less rare than salmonella nowadays. It can apparently still happen, but it's not the threat it used to be like 20, 30, 40 years ago, that kind of thing. So he brings out these pork chops, and the first thing I notice is that there's like still like the slightest tinge of red on the chops, and I'm like, huh, okay. And you know, he actually explains exactly, more or less what I just said, right? You can cook, pork and, like, you know, pork chops. You don't have to cook them to the point of where they're like the Sahara in your mouth, right? If you just go ahead and take them, you can take them, like, you know, to like about, you know, to a little bit a bit past medium, and they're still good. You know, they're still juicy, they're everything else. And yeah, you know what, those were hands down the best pork chops I have ever had at that point. And so even now, when I actually go ahead and I cook pork chops, I don't cook them well done. I cook them, like, you know, medium well. But the other thing that I've actually kind of learned, especially, like, you know, with grilling and stuff, is a lot of people that you would think understand some of this stuff don't understand any of that shit at all. Oh, okay. I just had a message in the bottom of OBS saying something about, you know, encoding overloaded. Okay. So I guess that makes sense. You're concerned with being undercooked, that you overdo it. Yeah, and that's number one. That's the thing that a lot of people do. They're so worried about getting sick from their food that, you know, the undercook. Which honestly, yeah, and some places have mentioned this, right? Like, actually, Alton Brown on one of the episodes of Good Eats, you know, when he's talking about like eggs and steak, because, like, you know how people talk about how you're not supposed to eat raw eggs because of salmonella and stuff like that. You know, the same thing with, like, you know, whether it's salmonella and, like, you know, the eggs and the chicken versus, like, you know, the stuff that's in, like, you know, beef and pork and whatnots. While yes, there is still a chance of getting things like, you know, salmonella, E. coli, and stuff like that, as a general rule, food standards in the U.S. are actually pretty darn good. That doesn't say that salmonella doesn't come out, doesn't, like, you know, happen, stuff like that. But as long as you're taking proper precautions in the kitchen, it's, you know, not going to be as scary a thing as most people kind of think. It's like, you know, there's the scare tactic. It's okay to be conservative about it, and, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, you know, cook to your comfort level, right? You know, the takeaway I got from all this, because, like, of course, from a legal, you know, the show's legal teams, like, actually the Food Network's legal teams were kind of, and he made a joke about the whole thing and stuff about that he had, like, you know, the G-men in, you know, in the sunglasses and black and stuff with, like, you know, the earpieces, you know, constantly, like, you know, carting him off whenever he tried to talk about eating, like, you know, raw eggs or something like that in that episode. It was kind of funny, but, you know, because, like, the legal thing is, like, yeah, legally the legal team won't allow him to say that that yes, you can eat raw eggs, and it is, you know, that it is relatively safe in the U.S. to do so. But yeah, legally, he can't really say that for very much on the because the network doesn't want to open themselves up to lawsuits. But Alton said I can eat this and I got sick. Blah 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 blah. I mean, take whatever risks that you're actually comfortable with. If you're more comfortable with eating, if you're more comfortable with overcooking and taking things well done and beyond, I mean, if that's your comfort level with it and that's the way you like it, I mean, hey, do what works for you. I suggest, I won't suggest, I invite and encourage you to try having a medium and then maybe even a medium rare steak, because the texture is completely different. Like a filet mignon that's cooked well done, terrible. A filet mignon that's cooked rare to medium rare, you can cut it with a fork, literally. Like I can take a fork and cut through an 1.5-inch steak with no problem. And same thing with pork, whatever. But so what I was actually saying a little bit earlier, because I do a lot of grilling and stuff. If you've done any kind of smoking on a grill, you've probably heard of and or seen the smoke ring, which is basically the red ring that you get around the beef, which some people they call it the smoke ring, and because they claim it's caused by the smoke or whatever else, and that's supposed to be proof of the smoke penetration and all that. That's technically a myth. That's the smoke ring isn't really a smoke ring. It's a chemical reaction that and I forget the actual the specific details, but it's basically it's a gaseous reaction, because you can still get a smoke ring even without smoke. So that just proves that it's not, the smoke is penetrating, blah blah blah. It's a chemical reaction, just like I think it's like either the carbon monoxide or something like that. That's interacting with the not the hemoglobin in the blood, but like I said, I forget the full technical details of it. But anyway, bottom line is the smoke ring is essentially, it's a red ring that happens on the towards from the outside working towards to the inside of the meat. So when you cut open a piece of barbecue and stuff and you look at it, the smoke ring is basically that red ring that's around the outside of the meat. Now, I have had a couple of my aunts actually said about talking about, because there was one time where I grilled where I basically smoked chicken and smoked some pork shoulder, whatever else, and they freaked out because they thought it was still raw. And it's okay, first of all, if it's raw, it's going to be red from the inside going out, right? Because the part that's around the bone is, depending on what school that you believe, that you listen to or whatever else, but the part around the deepest part of the meat, which is usually the meat that's in the inside, next to the bone, that's going to be the reddest part if it's still raw, right? And it's of course going to be bloody, blah 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 blah, right? The smoke ring on the outside, the red ring on the outside, it is not an indicator that it's still raw. But my aunt just absolutely refused to believe anything about it. And I'm okay, fine, then you want to throw your shit in the oven and go do it, you go do that. You want me to put your meat back up on the grill or whatever else? Okay, I'll throw it up on there, and and then you can go get it in an hour or whatever when you feel like it. Not my problem. But so do not be confused. Red on the outside, not raw. Red on the inside, maybe raw, or at least rare. So, just a public service announcement. So, okay. I'm trying to avoid the whole throw away your ramen packets and make this instead, because we're looking at and talking about steak. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this on the to watch later playlist. which I already have on the Watch Later playlist. So there you go. So let's take a look. Let's look more at that one last thing, the whiskey aged steak. I'm curious about this one. And then I'm going to go ahead and try and load up House Flipper and see if I can go ahead and get that working. Actually, what is the state of... Oh, shit. I'm surprised that I am still on. Or maybe it's just that... Maybe to run OBS, Steam has to just be opened. I guess I'll eat raw chicken because Chris... Not exactly what I said, but you know what? You always know there's going to be somebody out there. So, as a disclaimer. Oh, that's right. Wasn't there one where I wanted to watch the whiskey dry age steak experiment, because I want to see what they're gonna do. Are they marinating it in whiskey or something? I'm real curious about that. But then I'm also curious about the one where he had Uncle Roger on. I think that's awesome. I like watching when they've got like that kind of crossover and stuff. But somebody mark that just in case with the Watch Later and food.
If you enjoy, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, and we'll see you guys on the next. Highly recommend. If you want to get sticky with it, do the honey. You will probably come back to this video and put 1,000 different comments how terrible idea this is, because you...
No. Okay, I was hoping that the Uncle Roger thing would be a show up and stuff, but apparently not. Where is it? All right, let me try going to Google's channel here real quick, because I think I'd rather watch the Uncle Roger one, if anything. And while I'm at it, you know what? I need to... Let me make sure Steam is opening again, because it apparently closed it down at some point. Freaking Steam, I swear. How is it that I got 32 gigs of RAM in this thing, and it still acts like a pain in the damn ass? Okay, soaking soy sauce and soaking steak in soy sauce for a month. I already can just say, don't try that. That's not going to turn out well. Now, using crackling. So I heard that you can actually use crackling, like pork skins, as in place of breadcrumbs. That's actually apparently like a keto version of of breading. Revenge. So it'd be real funny if that revenge of making Angel actually eat vegetables and stuff is revenge for the time when Angel ruined his cast iron pan. Okay, chili jam. All right, I can understand Uncle Roger freaking out about this after what's his name, Oliver, what's his face? That crap ass British chef. After watching him fuck up Asian food, but he used chili jam in, I think, fried rice. I can't remember his name, except it's like something Oliver or whatever. Basically, it's just terrible. So I can understand Uncle Roger having trauma surrounding chili jam. So, all right, let's try this. Let's see what he's got to say.
Thanks Manscaped for sponsoring this video.
Hello Hello, niece and nephew. Uncle Kuka invited Uncle Roger for steak last time. It was so good.
This is what he's talking about. I made an incredible video using MSG. And I did something that has never been done before, and that was to liquefy MSG and deep fry a steak with it.
Holy
the results
crap.
were absolutely insane. And in the end, it was an incredible experience for both of us. However, I can't say the same thing about today, as I'll be using an ingredient that Uncle Roger hates more than anything.
The only two things I hate more than people who can't cook: Jamie Oliver and chili jam.
Ah, Jamie Oliver, that's exactly who we're talking
And
about here.
here's the star of today's show, fresh chili jam. Now, I really had to research which one Jamie Oliver loves the most. And
God
this
damn it.
is the brand, because you can clearly see that he's using it on his iconic fried rice. So I went ahead and bought it. As soon as I opened up the can and spread it on the plate, it smells fantastic. And I gotta say, it looks spicy. So before doing anything, I had to see how it tastes. So I went ahead and tried on some toast, which is the most popular way to have it. And honestly,
Are you
this
serious?
is delicious on toast. However, how is this gonna work on steak? Well, we're about to find out right now. As you can see, this is a beautiful prime New York strip. It is 1.5 inches thick, it has great marbling, and exactly what you're looking whenever you're buying steaks. Now, since I have no idea what's about to happen with the chili jam, I'm going to be running 2 different experiments. The first one is I'll be dry aging the steak with it. The first thing to do is to remove the
Hi-ya.
steak. Then I lay down a good layer of chili jam right on the bottom. The steak goes right on top, and then the whole jar of chili jam. I'm talking about the more, the better. I literally used the whole thing. I made sure that
Yeah,
every
Uncle
single
Roger's
edge of the steak
having
was
a cow
fully
right
covered
now.
with the chili jam. And to be honest with you, this looks a little weird, but I only wish you could smell it.
Why the
because
hell
it
would you
smells
dry age it? Like,
delicious.
that's not even dry
This
aging, that's wet
experiment was
age.
mesmerizing. Because once I was done covering the whole steak with it, this is what I was left with. The world's first chili jam dry age experiment. And hopefully, Uncle Roger is gonna love it. At least,
Uncle
that's my
Roger's
hope.
cursing your
Because
name
since
right now.
the steak is fully covered with it, the only thing left to do is to let it dry age in my refrigerator for 7 days.
Okay, he only did 7 days.
Once the time was up, I took it out and take a look. This is no longer looking good, friends. And most importantly, the smell went from good to bad. If there's one thing I always say is listen to your nose. So this one got me worried. So the next step was to go ahead and remove all of the chili jam from the steak. You see, my hopes is that it already did its job. So making sure to remove all of it was important. Because once I was done, here we got the world's first chili jam dry age experiment. And I gotta say, it looks better than it smells. But hopefully Uncle Roger is gonna love it. At least that's my hope. And in case that's not gonna happen, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare 2 other steaks as well. These are the same kind and the same grade. And since I have 2 of them, this is how it's gonna go down. The first thing to do is to go ahead and season them. For that, I use a good amount of salt followed by freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder. And of course, I did not forget to season both sides, because one will be the control. The other one, I'll be adding the chili jam to finish it off. And in case that
See,
does
okay,
happen,
that I
went
can
ahead
ex-
and
that's
made a side
acceptable,
dish. Now
right?
this I can guarantee he's gonna love. They are Korean marinated eggs. Now to make them, it is super easy to do. The first thing we gotta do is prepare the marinade. So into a bowl, I threw in some gochujang, followed by garlic, green onions, red chili, honey, sesame oil, a good amount of soy sauce, followed by some water, and to finish it off, sesame seeds. Now mix everything well and the marinade is done. As the main ingredients are these, soft boiled eggs. All you gotta do is boil them for 6 minutes and then peel them. As the following step is to go ahead and put
6
that
minutes
beautiful
isn't
marinade
usually
that just
considered
made right on top.
soft,
And I don't know if you
but-
ever marinated eggs before. They float. So in order to prevent the top from being white, I highly recommend putting a paper towel right on top. This will prevent this discoloration. Now you want to leave it in the refrigerator overnight. The only thing left to do is to go ahead and serve them. And I gotta say, these are just awesome. I like to pair them up with some fresh rice. So into a bowl, I added some rice, followed by a little bit of sushi vinegar. Then I added some Japanese mayo, that beautiful Korean marinated egg right on top. And as you can see, I like it nice and runny. As now you just add a little bit of the marinade around it, and this is today's side dish. And honestly, I know Uncle Roger will love this. However, I cannot say the same thing about the chili jam.
Because you didn't fry the rice with chili
Because I
jam.
still gotta finish it up. And for that, I kept it real simple, just like the other 2. I seasoned it with a good amount of salt, followed by freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder.
Wait.
And I cannot wait to find out how.
Well,
this
okay,
thing
he only
is
cut
gonna
it. He only
taste.
dry aged it
Talking
for
about
7
that,
days,
the
but
only
he didn't
thing
actually
left to
trim
do is to
anything.
Go ahead and cook all of them. First, I'll be putting a nice beautiful sear. Then I'll be cooking them in indirect heat until they reach an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. So now I say it is enough talking and it is time to grill some beautiful steaks. So let's do it.
Yeah, no, that's about right. Steak looks so good. Yeah, yeah. I feel you, Uncle Roger. Sorry if you hear all the sirens going off in the background. I didn't close my windows before.
Does that look good or
Stream.
what? But before we try it, I want to thank today's sponsor, Manscaped.com. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of Manscaped. And I love their trimmers like the lawnmower for your nether regions. But now they have a designated trimmer for your face. Check out this kit, the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. The Beard Hedger trimmer has a powerful 7200 RPM motor and titanium-coated T-blade that can cut through the thickest of hair in a single stroke. Whether you prefer a 5 o'clock shadow or a lion's mane, you can choose from 20 different hair cutting lengths with a zoom wheel that uses only one guard. This beard trimmer is waterproof, cordless, and rechargeable, so you can trim in the shower to save time and create less mess. And to make it a special routine, Manscaped also created dermatologist-tested beard care products to help you grow and nourish a magnificent beard. Your Beard Hedger Pro Kit will include the Beard Hedger, the beard oil, beard shampoo, beard conditioner, and beard balm. Simply go to manscaped.com today.
Hey, as long as they drove past, that's fine by me. Well, unless there's actually somebody acting stupid like out here again, but that hasn't happened in a while.
This video, but now let's get right back to it. All right, everybody, here we got our beautiful steak with Uncle Roger. Welcome, Uncle Roger.
Thank you, Uncle Google. Why are we eating inside today? Usually we eat outside.
I know, but the neighbors with the leaf blower.
Why he keep blowing leaf? Tomorrow the more leaf fall. Waste of time, blow leaf for what?
Exactly, I agree 100%. On top of that, doesn't allow us to film outside. Well, I must say, thank you for coming. I am very happy that you're here. I have a little experiment going on. As you can see, I put a little bit of spiciness on top of the steak.
Every time you make steak, Uncle Google, it's always the best tasting steak.
Thank you, Uncle
Uncle
Roger.
Roger, very excited today.
I hope that you really like it because I put a lot of energy in this one. You feel good with good energy. Food tastes better.
Of
You know
course.
what I mean? Okay, very good.
Good to see nephew Leon also. How you doing, nephew Leon?
I'm good.
I thought you're the janitor.
Uncle Roger, he's not janitor. He's my not generator.
Again, Google.
Very good. I say enough talking. We're here for steaks. Let's give it a try for steaks, yes?
Good.
Okay, so we're gonna go this direction. Give me your honest opinion. I just wanna know how it tastes. Please, dig in. Medium rare, just like you like it, right, Uncle Roger?
Yeah, of course.
Well
See,
done,
that's
people.
pretty.
What do we say to them?
They deserve to.
Enough talking, let's give it a go. Cheers, everybody.
Classic Uncle Google steak.
You feel that char? That is
This
so
better than
good.
sous vide steak.
We don't say that, Uncle Roger.
Sous vide just putting in water. Anybody can do that.
I guess you really like that real char flavor, right?
Yeah.
I'm totally with Uncle Roger on that. The kiss of charcoal on a steak is just unbeatable. You can't get that any other way. I can taste like a little bit of extra fattiness on this one. It's a little extra rich, nice and beefy. Perfect steak.
Very good. Now let's go for the next steak. I want to know, like I said, it's a little spicy, as you can see a little bit on that top.
I have seen a lot of steaks, and I have never seen you come up with something that looks like that.
It looks spicy, I must say.
Nephew Leon still have sports announcer energy.
Yes, exactly.
Same as last time.
Yeah.
He's on the 30-yard line, the 20, the 10, touchdown!
Sport announcer energy, I like that.
Enough talking, let's give it a try. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Ugh. What is this? What are you feeding me, Uncle Google? What is this? Why is it so ew? It's sweet. It tastes fruity. What the hell?
Oh my God.
That's so bad.
Throw it out. Give me trash can. What's the trash can?
Is that bad, Uncle Roger?
Oh, take your Uncle Toucher away
No,
from me.
Uncle Roger, don't do that.
Give me mouthwash. Give me Listerine. Need to wash my mouth to taste.
It tastes like you just took a steak and you slathered it with jelly.
Jelly?
That's what it's.
Jelly?
It tastes like grape jelly, or like that's how I get the consistency of jelly. The flavors do not harmonize well whatsoever.
That's about right.
You just have that beef richness and savoriness, and then just sweet spiciness on top. It's just kind of weird and doesn't work at all.
But nephew Leon still swallow it. That not good. What else you do in your free time?
Sorry, children. Uncle Roger, did you enjoy that steak?
No, it's weird. It's like sweet. Why you put sweet thing on steak?
You know, I wanted to try something different. I've never done this before. I also, like you, I did not enjoy it. I can see that you're very upset with me. I apologize.
Yeah, come all the way here to Miami.
Sorry about that, Uncle Roger.
Whole gold digger town, and you feed me this steak.
I'm sorry. I have to do something funny for you, Uncle Roger. But this is what I put on the chin.
Chili jam?
Yeah.
Chili jam on steak? What the hell? Chili jam don't belong on egg fried rice, and they don't belong on steak also.
I agree 100%. 100%. To make up for it, I made a little side dish, and hopefully it's gonna be good. Go ahead and cut it right in the middle. As you
Uncle
can see, we
Roger
have a
just
nice
kills me,
runny
yeah.
yolk. I hope you like runny yolk.
Yeah, everybody like it.
Everybody like it.
Nephew Leon gonna swallow it.
You're the one who made him eat chili jam, and I'm the one getting roasted. Guys, help me out.
And I hope you enjoy it, and it takes away the flavor from the chili jam. Cheers.
This good.
A lot better than that steak. You agree, Uncle Roger?
Of course.
This is an awesome side dish. The rice and all the sauces mixed together well on top of the yolk from the egg. It creates a beautiful combination that tastes delicious, has a bunch of different flavors, rich, it's tangy, it's creamy. It's awesome.
He is doing his announcer voice.
Description guy.
Yeah.
Description
That
guy.
was pretty bad. The one in the middle, I agree with you. But the first one is still better. But we got the last one. It should be delicious.
What is the last one? Tell us first.
No, I'm not gonna tell you.
You're not gonna tell me?
No, you have to eat it first.
I don't trust you anymore, Uncle Guga.
Hopefully you like it. I'm hoping you like it. Let's give it a go, please.
This show would become like Fear Factor.
Fear factor.
Yes, of course.
Eating without knowing. Joe Rogan, Uncle Guga want to be on your show?
That's right. I love to.
You and him look the same?
Really?
Yeah.
But I look nicer, yeah?
You look different.
Enough talking. Let's give it a try. Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
He licked it.
Little bit weird also.
But a lot better than the one in the middle.
Still a little bit weird sweetness.
It's weird because the second steak we tried had the sweetness on top of the steak, and now this one, it feels like it has the sweetness inside of the steak. It just tastes like the beef flavor mixed with some type of sweetness, and it, in my opinion, doesn't go well together. Whatever this is, does not belong on steak.
The sweetness look like it go into the soul of the beef. More chili jam? I know in more chili jam.
It is chili jam, Uncle Roger. So I dry aged it, Uncle Roger, for a
Dry
week.
aged chili.
Would you recommend it?
No, this belong in Salt Bay restaurant. That's how bad it is. Match made in heaven. Both disgusting.
Oh my god.
But I hope you didn't take away my uncle title.
No, you still have it. This just experimented. Okay.
Thank you for coming all the way from London, Uncle Roger.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything's always in the description down below. Make sure you guys go check out.
So, yeah. Well, Jamie Oliver, completely deserved. And apparently, even down here in the corner, how Salt Bay became absolutely hated by everyone. Didn't know that, but all right. I mean, Salt Bay with the glasses or whatever else kind of reminds me of budget Robert Downey Jr., but, that's just the take that I got just from kind of looking at him. I don't know much about it other than his salting pose or whatever. But whatever. So yeah. Personally, I don't think that there's a really funky balance when it comes to using jellies or jams with a steak. If it's too sweet, it can kill it. It doesn't really work well. I think something that's not as sweet, obviously a cranberry sauce kind of thing. People are used to putting it on something like turkey or or some kind of bird or whatever, but it can actually work with with beef and stuff as well, beef and pork. Just kind of depends. But then cranberry sauce and lingonberry sauce, those aren't especially sweet. It's not like grape jelly or something like that, which apparently that chili jam is apparently a lot sweeter. So anyway. That was interesting. But yeah, so Guga does a lot of different cooking. He likes doing a bunch of different beef experiments in particular. They're mostly steak based. He also has another channel called Everything Sous Vide, and so he basically sous vide everything. And that's, dedicated obviously to sous vide and cooking everything via sous vide. So pretty much exactly what it says on the tin, right? But yeah, I do like his stuff. I mean, some of his more experimental stuff is kind of a little more what the fucky, but you know, I mean, overall, it's like, all right. Okay, so why did Steam never come up? What the hell? I even loaded it. Did it crap on me or something? Huh. Well, alright. Let's watch one more video while I'm waiting for Steam to load. Or, wait a moment. So first Steam wanted to update, and now it's just kind of there. Alright, let's just try watching one more video while we wait and see what Steam decides to do. So, Uncle Roger. Let's watch the other Uncle Roger episode then, where the one he apparently first came on. Umami steak. I'm kind of scared about that though.
Trigger warning for vegan people. This video might contain flavor.
And this is what Uncle Roger is talking about. Ajinomoto, also known as monosodium glutamate, aka MSG. Now I've done a lot of insane experiment with this. That is how I got to know Uncle Roger. I like to call this the MSG dry age cake.
I think this is Uncle Roger's favorite cake. This is the only cake I want for all my birthdays from now on. Carrot cake.
He reviewed some of my insane experiments, and finally today he's gonna get to have one. Now if you are unfamiliar with monosodium glutamate, let me tell you, you probably eat this every single day. It is in most of the things we usually eat naturally. And today I'm gonna be doing something that you've never seen before. That I can guarantee you. Because since Uncle Roger is gonna be here, we gotta do something very special. And here's what I thought of. We all know that charcoal steaks are one of the best things in the world. Another thing that is fantastic is whenever you deep frying steaks. So I thought, what if
I've never deep fried steak.
MSG. Well, let's find out. The first thing to do is to lay a good amount of MSG on a tray. Then to discover its melting point. Into the oven it went at 475 degrees Fahrenheit. After about 30 minutes, take a look. It's melting already, and you can clearly see that it's also changing color and getting darker, almost like sugar. Because after about 1 hour, this is what it looks like. Pure melted MSG. And this thing is hot.
Oh
because
my
if
God.
I stir it a little bit, take a look. It's just mesmerizing for me to watch. But as soon as it cools down, it completely solidifies once again. So now that I have this knowledge, let's go ahead and try the deep fried one. I immediately put it back on the burner and brought it to the melting point. After a quick stir, this thing is now ready. So I grabbed a piece of steak in a skewer and immediately threw it in there. And as you can see, it is basically cooking and deep frying the steak in MSG.
Oh my
I only
God.
wish you could smell this. Because the more I do it, the more mesmerizing it is.
Oh my
At the
God.
same time, I had no idea if this was going to be good or bad.
What
so
the
after deep
actual-
frying it in MSG for about 2 minutes, I removed it and set it down on a plate. And as you can see, this thing still bubbles. That is just insane. Once it was fully rested, it was time to go ahead and take it out of the skewer. Then I sliced it up and take a look at this. The world's first MSG deep fried steak. Now honestly, this does not look appetizing, and the smell is just horrifying. So it got me thinking, there's no way I can give this to Uncle Roger. So I had several different other ideas to give it a try. And everything started off with these 3 beautiful steaks. As you can see, they are Australian Wagyu Marbling Score 7. And since I have 3 of them, this is how the experiment is gonna go down. For the very first one, I'll be dry brining it in MSG. So I went ahead, opened up the bag, and started to add a good amount. Maybe a ridiculous amount. Then I thought, wait a second, this is a mistake. Let's just add the right amount for this experiment. So after removing it, I was left with the perfect amount. And from past experiments, I know that only adding MSG is not enough. So I went ahead and also seasoned it with a little bit of salt, as now this steak is fully ready. The other two steaks on the other hand will also be getting dry brine, however with salt only and no MSG. And if you are unfamiliar with the term dry brine, let me explain. When you put salt on the steak, the first thing that happens is draws out moisture. Then it becomes liquid, and just like a sponge, the steak reabsorbs it into itself. This process is called dry brine. It's just a fancy word to say put salt on it and let it rest. Talking about that, the only thing left to do is to leave it in the refrigerator overnight.
Oh yeah, the osmosis.
Stop thinking about deep frying the
Damn it,
steak
steam.
in MSG. However, I was determined to make sure I get success this time. And one of the best things you can deep fry a steak on is Wagyu fat. So I went ahead and grabbed a good amount, put it on a skillet and let it melt. Then I had to choose the right amount of MSG, and I thought 1 tablespoon is good enough.
Hiya, why so weak? Add more, that too little.
So you heard the man. I went ahead and added a ridiculous amount. Something I highly recommend you not even giving it a try, as this is the most amount of MSG I've ever put it together with Wagyu fat. And surprisingly, because it's a ridiculous amount, it didn't even melt all the way. Because once I was done, my deep fried MSG Wagyu oil is now ready. And even though I'm going to be making some beautiful steaks for Uncle Roger, if you come to my house, you know I'll be making a side dish as well. And this one is quite unique. And to make it, it's super easy, and here's how. The first thing to do is to go ahead and boil some potatoes. Once that's done, I ran them through a ricer. This will prevent from getting any lumps. Then I added a good amount of butter, followed by cream cheese, milk, and salt. Mixed everything together until I had the consistency that I was happy with. Then I poured it on a serving dish, and it was now ready for me to make my seasoned oil topping. For that, I added a little bit of avocado oil into the pan. Then I added some garlic, followed by XO sauce, a little bit of sambal chili, red bean chili paste, and mixed everything together. To finish it off, I added some spring onions, mixed it a little bit more, and poured everything into my mashed potato. As to finish it off, I just added a little bit of spring onions, and my side dish was now ready for Uncle Roger to
Technically it was rice and potato, not mashed, but okay.
If he does not like something, he will let you know. Hopefully, this will taste fantastic and he likes it. But I'm curious to find out what he thinks, because the most important thing is the steaks. Talking about that, by this time it was fully dry brined. And notice that we no longer have any salt on the meat, because salt does not penetrate fat. However, as you already know, this thing only has salt and MSG. So for the seasoning, I applied freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder. As now, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and cook them. So one of our steaks is going to be the control. The second one is the one that we dry brined in MSG. And the very last steak will be deep fried in MSG oil. And I cannot wait to find out which one Uncle Roger is going to like best. Because now I say it is enough talking and it is time to cook some beautiful steaks. So let's do it.
I have still never deep fried steak. Uncle Roger cracks me the hell up.
I know that looks good, but before we try it, I got a quick announcement. It is finally here. Guga's rub is now for sale. I have been working on this rub for a very long time. I posted a video on how to make it at home about 4 years ago, and since then, I have changed the formula 100 times. And now it is finally ready for you. Many of you have already used my old recipe. Just wait until you try this one. It is better. It is way better. Amazing on beef, pork, chicken, lamb, fish, and my favorite, burgers. This rub is what I use in 90% of everything I cook. Get yours now at shop.gugafoods.com or just click the link in the description. As always, thank you so much for your support. I hope you guys enjoyed this rub as much as I do, because now it's time to get right back to the video. All right, everybody, here we got our beautiful steak, and Uncle Roger, welcome to my house.
Thank you, thank you. This steak looks so good.
Thank you, Uncle Roger. Are you ready to try them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Are you excited?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I got a little experiment though. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if it's gonna be good, bad, or ugly. You've seen my MSG dry age experiment. What did you think about that one?
Uncle Roger think it pretty good, pretty interesting.
Pretty interesting.
You're like a madman, Uncle Kuka.
That's correct.
Yeah? I think you're getting too bored in your marriage, trying to find something to do.
Enough talking, let's give it a go. So we got two beautiful steaks. Let's just dig in, please.
Okay, okay.
You like medium rare, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good.
There's no other way to eat steak.
I agree
We should
100%.
all judge people.
Really?
Yeah? If you go on date and then your date asks for steak well done, thumb their ass. That's a red flag.
Well,
I don't
sorry,
know if
Des.
I'm gonna enjoy more of these steaks or Uncle Roger's jokes.
Who's that guy?
I forgot to introduce you. How rude of you.
Oh my God.
This is Leo. You're the
I'm
janitor.
the janitor.
Okay, you treat your janitor good. He got steak.
His family.
Uh,
Very good. Enough talking. Let's give this a go. Let us know if it's good. Sounds good?
cheers.
All right. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Oh,
Nice and juicy and tender.
is there anything better than steak, Uncle Roger?
Yeah, egg fried rice. It's very good.
Good
Actually,
amount of fat,
egg fried
good amount of
rice
charm,
topped
just
with
perfect.
steak.
And thank you, by the
There
way,
you
for
go.
helping me grilling it.
Of course,
You look like a grill expert.
No problem. Thank you for teaching me, Uncle Kuka.
No problem.
I think it's nice and beefy, extra juicy, I must say.
Yeah.
Like extra, extra juicy. There's no way that this is a normal cut of beef. Like very rich, very juicy, very beefy, and very delicious.
Very good. So we all liked it. Let's see if it goes anything up from here or down from here. Sounds good?
Okay.
All right, let's go. Second one, please. Dig in. Second steak. Are you ready, Uncle Roger? Smell it. Does it smell any different?
Smell like steak.
Smell like steak? Let's give it a go. Let's try it. See if it tastes different. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my.
For some reason, it tastes meatier than the other steak. I can taste the cow more.
Yeah.
Like this one is like kissing the cow, but this one is like making out with the cow.
Oh my God.
Like it's more intimate.
More flavor.
Yeah, yeah.
You know why?
Is it the magic white powder?
Oh.
The magic white
Careful, we're
powder.
in Miami.
No,
So
the
this
other
one
white
tastes
powder.
better for you? Is it better than the first one or no?
Better than first one.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
It's really surprising to me because I feel like the beefiness, the juiciness, and the richness all got amplified so much.
Oh my
from
God,
the previous
description
steak.
description
Absolutely
guy.
wonderful. So this one here, Uncle Roger, I dry brine it in MSG. So you were right on the money.
Nice, nice.
That's why it's so good.
my favorite white powder. Oh no, I meant
Very good. I say for us to cleanse our palates, we give it a go on this mashed potatoes. Let me serve you, Uncle Roger. Tell me how you like it.
just one scoop is enough.
Yeah, that's enough for you?
Yep, that enough, that enough.
good.
Thank you, thank you.
These are American portions.
Uncle Roger not used to this.
All right, let's give this a go. Enough talking. Cheers.
Whoa. Chinese flavor,
Chinese flavor, that's right. Wow.
Asian flavor. What kind of chili sauce is that?
There's a lot of things going on, Uncle Roger, there.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's crazy how the oil just completely changes the mashed potatoes. You know, for such a simple thing, just an oil on top, it adds such a level of depth and complexity to regular mashed potatoes. Complete different flavor profile, and it's overall really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend you guys giving it a try. You can do the oil ahead of time and all that good things, so it's perfect.
By the way, I really like how that nephew talk about food. Nephew Leon. Talk about food like he's sport commentator.
He's on the 30-yard line. The 20, the 10, touchdown.
That's why we call him the description guy.
Ah, good job.
While I'm cleaning the floors, I just have like an encyclopedia, and I'm just looking through, like learning words, learning vocabulary while I'm cleaning the floors here.
Nice, nice. You're gonna be food critic one day.
You're not a generator? I mean, a
Generator.
He's not generator there, the electricity.
You're not a janitor?
Careful, you're gonna steal all your secret and then go work for Salt Bay.
No, I'm not gonna work for Salvo. I have a height requirement for people I work for.
Ooh.
Emotional damage.
That was fantastic. I feel like my palate has cleansed a little bit. Let's try the very
Okay.
next steak. Give me your honest opinion. please,
Maybe
Uncle Roger.
I do need to know about
I'm
like what
wondering
the hell
if it's gonna be
happened.
better or worse than the second
Why
steak.
everybody
Ready?
hates Salt Bay.
Yep.
Cheers, everybody.
Interesting. It feels fattier, slippery.
Yeah, like greasier.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the actual flavor, I think we've actually gone a step down. I like the second one more.
I agree 100%. The second one was better.
Second one, the best. What is that one?
This one here, I actually made a Wagyu MSG fat. And then I deep fried the steak on it, Uncle Roger.
How is that not better? That's crazy.
I think it's just a little bit too much.
Too much of a good thing.
Yeah, too much of a good thing is not good. Which one's your favorite, Uncle Roger?
Second one, of course, the white powder steak.
This is not white powder, Uncle Roger.
MSG is white powder.
MSG is just fantastic, everybody. You heard it from the champ, everybody. He said that the middle one is better. I agree 100%. Thank you so much for coming, Uncle Roger. Guys, make sure you check out Uncle Roger's channel on the link on the description if you haven't seen it already. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys.
That's hilarious. What really happened when Uncle Roger was here? Yeah, well. So that's interesting. Yeah, I don't quite understand all the Salt Bae hate. I mean, I get that. I get that he pretty much looks and comes across as pretty damn pretentious, but I don't really know. Like I said, I don't know the whole story on that. There was that one thing on the side of why Salt Bae is hated. I'll watch that later. I'm not gonna watch it obviously on stream, but so. Yeah. Now, so these web comics or whatever else, these are pretty interesting. Like Sekai no Fuji, Attack on Mika, Etrichan and stuff. I thought it would actually be kind of interesting to basically voice act one of those types of, like, you know, one of those comics and whatever. I thought it'd be kind of interesting, but so seeing a lot of these, they look kind of cool. I mean, a lot of the stories and stuff, pretty typical, like, you know, as far as, like, you know, some Japanese, like, lines go, whatever else. A lot of them have to do with, like, overworking or judging, and there are a lot of there's a lot of recurring themes in them, like, you know, with regarding, like, basically people looking down on, you know, oh, you didn't go to school, or you have so-and-so job or some other crap. They get kind of predictable after a while, but then there's still some pretty interesting stories there. They're worth taking a look at if you haven't. Oh my god. So this is just all about Uncle Ra. So he was apparently hanging out with them for a while. Oh my god. They roasted the hell out of Salt Bae, it seems. I am tempted, but nope. But I will mark that for watch later. Anyway, let's see what Steam is doing. So it kept cutting in and, like, you know, kind of tanking my frame rate for whatever bloody reason. So it was a bit of a pain for a couple of times there. It's this Planet Coaster. And now it's giving me, all right. Barotrauma. Okay, so this... There are apparently some games I need to check out here. Let me just... Alright, I'm going to add this to my wish list real quick, and let's see if I can get the library up. But a co-op submarine simulator in space. Alright. If it's in space, it's not called a fucking submarine. Wouldn't a submarine in space technically just be a spaceship? Like, it's a submarine because it's underwater. It's in the freaking name. I don't get it. Anyway, but it's kind of, it looks like one of those games, like, where you manage the, like, you know, there's room management and shit like that. Kind of like in that one game that you played, Bez, I don't remember the name of it, with the spaceships and stuff, where you had to like actually add the rooms and all that. And then also like some other games, you know, that I've played, like the one that's like Terraria, but it's not, it's, I can't think of the name, but what the hell. Yeah, Cosmonautica was the one that you played. Yeah, I just happened to notice it. It popped up on the Steam store, and it kept popping up during the stream, and so I was trying to get rid of it. But yeah, this one's actually called Barotrauma. So it caught my eye because it's one of the games that actually have version. They ported it to Windows, Mac, and SteamOS. Which makes freaking sense, you know? All right, so let me go ahead and kick over into the library here, and... Oh, Steam really did update. It looks actually a bit different now. Huh. Interesting. Of course, while it looks a little different, it's still handles just as crappily as it did before. All laggy and shit. And House Flipper is at 100%. Oh my god, it's still Pat. And okay, I see. I was clearly completely wrong. It wasn't this, oh my god, this patch wasn't 1 gig, it was 10 gigs. Holy Jeebus. And it's still not done. Holy crap, man. Of course, I can understand why it, you know. I can see if it was a 10 gig thing, no wonder it took so damn long. But why in the hell did it take... Okay, first of all, 10 gigs? A 10 gig patch? That's not a patch, that's a whole new damn game. Well then, what to do? First, let me hydrate. Wow. I started stream like 4 hours ago, apparently. Well, started stream 4 hours ago, like actually at about 10 o'clock, but then let's see, it went an hour and a half. Then that's when basically Steam killed my computer and kind of tanked everything. Then it took me, what, an hour to get everything back up? Because it took me about half an hour just to get, like, you know, the final thing fully rebooted. And so now here we are. I've been on now for about, well, almost an hour and a half again. Kind of seems like really all we've actually wound up doing today was watching videos. Hey, it's the first time for everything. So this was my very first watching stream, video watching stream. Go figure. And it kind of looks like I'm stuck still waiting. All right, it's still verifying and stuff. It's still going to be a while. I guess it has to verify all 10 gigs, and it's only a third of the way through. Yeah, it worked out in its own way. Well, I guess let's just go back to YouTube then, and what other things? What else can we watch? my god. He cooked steaks using molten salt and then he ate it. So what next? You're gonna cook steak on lava? Get that obsidian flavor going? A whole alligator. Okay, so Uncle Roger was around long enough for him to like actually apparently shoot several different episodes as well as from different shows, like on Sous Vide Everything. Uncle Roger is also still there. All right, so anyway, let's just go back up. So what else can we watch real quick? Although I think at this point, because I'm probably not going to be on for much longer than maybe like another half hour, give or take. Because unfortunately I still got to be back up and working tomorrow. Yeah, like I said, I'm probably not going to be on for more than another half hour. See, I don't know what this says about me and my watching habits. All the different things that kind of come up here. Like, well, what the actual hell? Mark. Well, as a matter of fact, yes. I do watch several different VTubers. And of course, because I went and looked at something having to do with the submarine and stuff like that, naturally I'm getting all kinds of stuff about that. My future ex-wife is so salty with Kick. Whatever. Morica Ibe is your queen, huh? A man of culture, I see. Okay, so this guy learned how to make funk in 24 hours, which that has obvious. Wait, what? Clearly I watch a lot of food stuff, or I have been. I'm curious about that. Sharp knife, blah blah blah. Blade, jade cutter, and stream. Mexican MSG? Really? So that's the thing that he actually ate. So that's what that was. Okay, actually, that thing. Okay, so the flip of the watermelon. So there's one thing I want to take a look at since I'm here. Have you ever heard of grilled watermelon? Que demonios. There is a way of grilling watermelon, and I actually want to try this. This one right here. This I haven't actually done directly. The grilled, like grilled watermelon and stuff like this, like just fresh watermelon. No, but there is one where it was smoked, like actual smoked watermelon. Not sure about this. About this particular one, but it's this watermelon steak is what I'm real curious about. So let me see if this is the one that I'm looking at. There's only 3 minutes though, but let's see. I know that it's partly got to do with the brining process. Honestly, I want to try it, then I want to try making it.
Watermelon. It looks like a ham. I have so many questions, so many thoughts. I really want to know what it tastes like. So let's go see how it's done.
Not gonna lie, that looks good to me. I'd be really curious to try it.
We're famous for our smoked meats, and we want to have some more vegan and vegetarian options. We simply do the same thing that we've been doing for thousands of years to meats, but we do it to a melon. We do all these techniques that might seem really strange, but they're actually pretty normal, and they're delicious. So I would say the best way to describe the taste of watermelon ham is that it's smoky, savory, salty, hot, and juicy, but it's still a watermelon, and that's the beauty of it.
If somebody gave me a plate of this and I had no idea what it was, I would assume that it's just very, very raw prime rib. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. I've been dying to know what it tastes like, so let's just dig right in. By no means does this taste like a steak or taste like meat.
Of course
the
it
only
wouldn't.
thing that kind of resembles a meaty texture would be this outside part that is kind of like that caramelized skin, if you will. While it
Hey,
doesn't
what up,
taste like
180? How's everything going?
it also doesn't taste like a fresh watermelon. It's like this
How's it going?
sweet,
Things kind
watermelon.
of
Everyone should try
blue
this
chunks
one.
today.
It is nothing like
Steam
I've ever tried before.
trying to update, and I'm trying to update the game I was gonna play, House Flipper. Like, downloaded a 10 gig update and then decided to tank in the middle of it, which killed stream about an hour and a half in. So there was that, and it took me like an hour to fully recover everything. So I finally kind of came back and stuff, and so we've been watching videos while still waiting for Steam to update itself and then finish updating House Flipper, which it is still, at least it's almost done verifying, but it's still not done yet. So it is taken pretty much all of the time that I was going to be on and stuff to go ahead and do it. So we've been just killing time in the meantime by watching a bunch of different videos and everything like that. Basically food related, come to think of it. They've all been food related videos. So, which I guess that was the one good thing, like while waiting for the computer to come back up and stuff, while I was waiting for it to reboot and restart, I did at least grab something real quick to eat. So there's that. So, going well? Yeah. How are we doing, kid? Same as usual. That bad, huh? Yes. So, my streams continue to dominate in the scuff department. There you go. Good enough. Okay, now this looks good. Well, pulled barbecued mushroom? No. I was at Ren Fair one year, and they had... So, the thing that... Okay, food-wise, the thing that I love the most about Ren Fair are the, the smoked turkey drumsticks, like you do. One year that I went there, though, they had like these marinated portobello mushrooms that just, they were basically mushroom burgers, like no meat and stuff, just mushroom with like, slice of mozzarella, fresh mozzarella on top and stuff, and a couple of bay leaves, basil leaves. And damn, that was just fantastic. I have always wanted to find a decent recipe to go ahead and try to do that myself and make those grilled sandwiches. So, man. 180. Isn't that your horse?
I would sling a whole pig over my shoulder, carry it to our pit, and throw it on the grill. And at that point, I told everybody that they were not allowed to give me shit for being vegan. I'm Chris Rubenstein. I'm a chef at the Wild Goose Tavern in Costa Mesa, California with the Culinary Militia. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to make a vegan pulled trumpet mushroom barbecue sandwich. A lot of vegans miss out on some good food, and you guys catch a lot of flack because a lot of what you cook isn't very good. So today, I'm going to show you how to smoke the mushrooms, pull them, make the sandwich, and impress some of your friends. So for this dish, first thing you're gonna need is about a pound of trumpet mushrooms. They're also called king oyster mushrooms. Go to any Asian market, go to the mushroom section, you're gonna find them. Take your favorite barbecue sauce, about a cup of that, 1 head of kale. You're gonna need 1 cup of vegan mayonnaise, a red onion, half a cup of apple cider vinegar, 4 tablespoons of sugar, tablespoon of crushed red pepper, 2 carrots, and 4 rolls. And to saute the mushrooms, we're gonna need 2 tablespoons of oil. Don't use olive oil because it has a low smoke point. You're gonna end up burning it and you really don't want that flavor. Just use vegetable oil, soybean oil, canola, whatever you like to use. And the last thing you're gonna need,
I'll be honest, I could give less than 2 shits about it being vegan. I just happen to like mushroom.
I like to use apple for this dish because it's a little lighter when you're gonna smoke vegetables. You're gonna smoke meat, you wanna use hickory, mesquite, things like that. So apple or cherry is what I like to use. So the first step in the process, we're gonna smoke the mushrooms. So we're gonna go outside of the grill and do that. So depending upon what kind of grill you have, you can do this a couple of different ways. Today we just have a standard gas grill. So we're gonna use a smoking box. If you had a charcoal grill, you could just take these guys, put them straight on the coals, and smoke them that way. So we're gonna take the chips, open up your box, just spread them out nice and evenly. Just stick them in the hottest part of the grill, and that's gonna take about 10-15 minutes before they start smoking. So you wanna crank the grill up all the way to high, let it get to about 600-700 degrees. The hotter the better. Wood chips have to dry out first before they start smoking, so we're starting to get a little bit of smoke now, and it should be ready in about 5 minutes. I actually started cooking because I went vegan. My mom is a phenomenal cook, but when I decided to become vegan, I was about 17. I was still living at home, and she kind of gave up. So I started cooking for myself, and when it came time after high school to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, I decided I wanted to be a chef. All right, so we're about ready. We're gonna check it. We're getting a lot of good smoke. The chips are nice and brown. What I would do is put them on the top rack if you have a rack like that in your grill. Just break them apart. Drop the lid and let it go for about 20 minutes or so. One thing you want to be careful of when you're doing this on the grill is not to burn the mushrooms. Just keep an eye on them once you put the mushrooms in. They're gonna get dark, they're gonna get smoky, they're gonna get cooked, but don't burn them. All right, so while the mushrooms are smoking,
They're also going to take longer the more you like pop that thing open to look at
First thing
them.
you do, take your kale, show you a little trick, is just pull it off like that. Then what we're gonna do, this is a technique called chiffonade. You're gonna take your green, roll it up, take your knife, and just really thin, just, as you're going, just put your kale in the bowl. So I'm gonna assume everybody out there knows how to peel a carrot. Use a peeler, so I already peeled these. Just take a cheese grater. So I decided to do a kale slaw just because I love kale. I think everybody loves kale. Just try different stuff. Don't always use cabbage. Just try to think in different ways.
No, a lot of people don't like kale actually.
One thing to always remember when you're cutting, tuck your thumb in. I went ahead and sliced my thumb this morning just to show you guys that can happen to anybody. The julienne onion, cut it in half. I like to cut it in half again, just for size. All right, so it's been about 20-30 minutes. We're gonna go check on the mushrooms. Yep. All right, these are looking good. We're gonna go back inside and shred them. All right, so the mushrooms are ready. We're gonna keep making the slaw. So this is the dressing for the slaw. We're gonna start with our vegan mayonnaise. You're gonna need 1 cup of vegan mayonnaise, half a cup of apple cider vinegar, 4 tablespoons of sugar, and a tablespoon of crushed red pepper. Take a whisk, just get it all together. We're gonna take all the vegetables that we chopped up and just pour the dressing right over. And the vinegar is gonna help break down the kale and make it nice and soft and edible. And then take your clean hands, give it a toss. You can kind of crunch up the kale too. That's gonna help break down the fibers, so you're not gonna get a big mouth full of just raw kale. That's done. We're gonna let that sit on the side and let that kind of marinate and break down a little bit. Now to shred the mushrooms. Just gonna take the mushroom, just take a regular household fork, and we're just gonna scrape them down like this. They look like little squids. And take your fork and just mash the top part. So if you try to eat this before we're finished, it's not gonna be very good. It's gonna taste like you ate a campfire. Once we cook it with the barbecue sauce, the smoke is gonna mellow out and introduce itself into the sauce, and it's gonna be really delicious. All right, so we're almost done. The next step is we're gonna sauce the mushrooms. 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil.
So the mushrooms on their own don't taste good, huh? They taste like a campfire. Interesting.
Then we're gonna grab our barbecue sauce. And then just flip them around, get them nice and coated, heat it all the way through. And if you don't feel comfortable sauteing, you don't have those skills yet, use a spoon. Just move them around, get them nice and coated. You want the barbecue sauce to caramelize a little bit and stick to the mushrooms and not the pan. All right, so let's assemble the sandwich. I like to start with the slaw on the bottom. Helps soak up the barbecue sauce, doesn't get your bun all soggy. And then the barbecue right on top of that. There you go.
Right.
And that is your smoked pulled trumpet mushroom sandwich. It's messy.
Eh. World famous barbecued pulled mushroom sandwich 2.0. Yeah, whatever. Easy backyard barbecued grilled veg. What the actual hell are you talking about? I mean, grilled vegetables are pretty straightforward and simple to do. Vegan barbecue rib. I don't trust it. I'm assuming that must be mushroom something, but... And again, I have nothing against vegans. In fact, I think they're perfectly fine when they're sauteed and drawn with butter. You know, lightly sauteed in butter. You know, maybe even a good coating of breading. Fantastic. Best way to have them, in my opinion. Anyway. Let's see here. So, what state is Steam in at this point? Oh, look, House Flipper finally decided to kind of come up. So now the real question is, do I want to actually go ahead and start in on a game now when I was only going to probably still be on for more? You don't think you've ever met a vegan, honestly? What, did you meet them, like, under subterfuge, or were they in the closet? If they didn't tell you? I mean, well, okay. If they didn't tell you, you probably didn't meet a vegan. I mean, they're pretty famous. Well, a lot of them are famous for it. I'm not going to say, like, you know, all of them are, because I know a few vegans, and quite frankly, no. Only 2 of the ones that I know are extremely vocal about it. Like, to the point where they will not leave you alone. You know, God forbid you mentioned, like, you know, anything food-wise that's not vegan friendly or whatever. You know, some can't help but have to express their distaste for all things non-vegan. So, which is fine. I know who not to invite to my house, like, you know, when I'm throwing down for parties. Because well, the old place I used to live at, I had this thing, my landlord was actually really cool. I think I mentioned him before, like, we had a standing, we always had this standing invitation. I always gave him a standing invite. It's like, hey, you bring the meat, I'll come with the cooking skill, and, you know, we can just, you know, you bring it, I'll cook it. And he had a hookup into, like, you know, into Greektown and stuff in the packing district and everything, because he was a cop, and, you know, that was his beat area. So we would basically just grill out and barbecue, like, at least 3 times a week and stuff. And, you know, we were also on really good terms with our next door neighbor and everything. And, you know, he happened to, so he owned the building next door, and the second floor unit in his building, he basically he had a deal with, like, you know, where he was hosting, like, they're not really missionaries, I don't remember, but it was basically, it was just like an exchange kind of program or whatever hostel kind of system with a Lutheran church. I don't remember which one, but yeah, so there would always be, like, you know, people, like, you know, college kids or whatever kind of coming through with that play, you know, on the second floor. And so we would all kind of get together. We'd have like these, you know, just, it was always standing invitation, like, you know, come hang out, whatever else, like, you know, the patio's open and everything. We'd all kind of grill, throw down and stuff like that. Now my neighbor had like, you know, like a few gatherings of his own, and like sometimes he'd have, like, you know, some friends who happened to be, or, you know, there was like one time in particular he brought he apparently invited some people who happened to be vegan, and they were extremely picky about everything. Like, they absolutely refused. He had to actually buy a completely separate grill grate to cook the vegan food on, because it couldn't touch meat at all. Like, even if you had cooked meat on this, you know, on this grill, which again would be heated up to, like, you know, to a high temperature and basically cauterizing anything possibly on it. But no, it couldn't be within, like, you know, 50 feet of, you know, of any kind of meat, right? You know, I mean, if you didn't have a restraining order against it, like, it was just not a thing. You know, they would refuse and whatever else. So they had to have completely separate, like, you know, cooking surfaces, completely separate plates, the whole 9 yards, right? They were just utterly fussy and stuff. And, you know, I mean, that's fine, that's cool, I understand. And I'm not hating on vegans, you know, and just for the sake of hating on vegans or whatever. These guys were just assholes about it, you know. It's like, yes, you know, we can't eat this on the grill grate that's been anywhere near meat. Like, if it even so much as saw the meat, we can't use it. It's like, bitch, please. Then, you know, go home, stop at McDonald's, get your vegan Happy Meal or whatever. I don't care. But not my party, so. I just got to watch them making all of these demands of my neighbor and stuff, and I was kind of he was annoyed. And I was definitely getting annoyed on his behalf, but, you know, hey, he put up with it. They never came back. They were, you know, whether, I doubt they were invited again, but, you know, hey, whatever. I mean, the vegans that I knew were generally much cooler about things, you know, but hey, there's always, like, there's all kinds everywhere, so. You know, it's not just vegans like this, or, you know, people, you know, it could be any kind of topic, and everybody wants to get passionate about one way or another, right? So anyway, see, like I said, it will be in another, like, 8 minutes, like, and it's going to be 2 hours, which means a total actual stream time that I had on today was about, it'd be about 3.5 hours. You know what the hell, I'm gonna go ahead and try it, since I've waited this long. So I'm gonna go ahead and try loading up House Flipper, and just, let's see if I can at least get it to run after all of this waiting. I want to try playing. Actually, I don't even remember how this works. They're not mission. I think they're jobs or something like that. I don't remember how it works. But no, screw that. I'm going to go ahead and load that fucker up anyway. Ha-ha! Although I don't know why I'm getting all, like, hyped for it. It's House Flipper. You know, it's chill house not redecorating, but, you know, repainting and stuff like that. I don't even remember how this game goes and how it works anymore. It's been so long. But anyway, we were talking about cigars and pipes earlier, and I guess candles somehow kind of came up as, I think Lumi had mentioned a leather-based candle, and I happen to have a warm tobacco pipe scented candle here, which smells really good. I've been basically huffing this as like copium to for my fucked up stream today, but hey, it actually smells pretty damn good. No, it's not so much a smoking candle. It's this one. The scent is actually warm tobacco pipe, and it is actually very reminiscent of pipe tobacco. Which, yes, I happen to like cigars and pipes. I don't like cigarettes. I'm not a cigarette smoker, but I will occasionally go ahead and I can go ahead and get my cigar on and stuff like that, and kick back with a nice pipe. But yeah, I'm really interested in the candle that Lumi had, the one that smells like leather. So leather, tobacco, and wood. Those just seem like that'd be a hell of a combo somewhere. Yeah, you like all of them? Yeah, me too. Absolutely. There was a cigar that I had tried, which I'd only ever found this cigar at just one single cigar shop that I'd never been to. I had never found, but I think the brand was called Carlos Torano. And one of their models, or one of their types of cigars and stuff like that, it actually had a flavor that was very reminiscent. It kind of had like a bit of like kind of cedary type notes to it. It was almost like the smoking equivalent of being in a hardwood sauna, and that taste. I don't know if you'd call it a taste, but basically the dry woody thing when you're in kind of like a classic type of sauna with the hardwood and everything else like that. It was very reminiscent of that, and I really enjoyed the hell out of those cigars. I had like 3 of them, but it was in like an out of the way. It was a cigar shop that was like way out of my usual route and stuff. So it wasn't one that I went to very often. So, and I'd never found that cigar anywhere else, but I always kept an eye out for them. You've never been to a sauna, dude, you're missing out. Well, if you like, if you've never been, you wouldn't know if you like it or not, but it's basically, if you like being in a hot tub or whatever, it's kind of like it's the dry equivalent of a hot tub. You're basically sitting in a hot room, sweating and whatever else, which doesn't really sound all that enjoyable from an explanation, just hearing from that description just on its own, but it is way better than it actually sounds. Let me see if I can get this up. I don't know, because it's in full screen at the moment. Let me see if I can get this. Wait. Not in your underwear, in a towel. Or sitting on a towel, depending. Although I was at this one gym that I went to, the sauna was co-ed, so you weren't sitting on a towel in that regard. It was you were basically in like swim trunks or what, in the swimsuit, because it was like right off of the pool. Okay, I can kind of hear the music. Where is my game? Game display share, and usually it has a problem trying to get the source if it's like because if it's a full screen, it's not technically a window in the same space. Nope. So let me pull this out of full screen mode first. Oh, wait, I need to go to the graphics. Display mode. Let's go to windowed. And good heavens, that's small. But I should at least be able to select it, so... Or at least, let me try that again. Okay, and if I try to run this window that is way too freaking tiny at 1920 by 1080, can I kick this up? And if I do, how's that going to affect? Well, that did throw my frame rate into the toilet. Or at least it did worse. Nope, it is still throwing it way into the toilet. Like... oh my god. Alright, let me go ahead and close this YouTube window here. Because I don't think I've actually played this on with OBS running before, so that's why I'm real curious about how well this is actually going to run, if at all. And so far, I am, when I say I'm in single digit, it keeps dropping to like single digit frame rates, and by that I mean literally less than 5 frames. So holy shit. Of course I won't be able to check the frame rate if it's higher than that, but alright, let me kick this down then to... Alright, let me kick this to 1080p and see. So 1920 by 1080, which again is a really tiny window here. Can I drag it? Or is that going to... no, I can't drag the window. I can't. The only way I can resize the window is... and it is still crappy. What if I kick this down to from 60 to 30 frames per second? Will you like me then? Are you going to be more stable, or are you going to still be a pain in my ass? Nope, you're still going to be a pain. Alright. So let me try flipping over to the game window and see what this looks like. Try turning up the volume. although it's not so much that, where's the sound? Oh, it's because I've got the music down fairly low to begin with. Okay, so frame rate wise, well, it's still around 12 frames per second, which still sucks ass. Unfortunately, the only other thing that can close down to kind of make this run any better would be OBS, but that ain't gonna really work. So the reason why it took House Flipper so long to update is that it was a 10 gigabyte update. I thought it was just I thought when it said update queued, it was just going to be, I thought I misread it, and I thought it said 1.08 gigabytes, but no, it was like 10.80 gigabytes. I misread where the decimal was. And like, holy shit. I mean, is 10 gigs really an update at that point? Or is that like, you know, basically just the whole new game? That was just ridiculous. Alright, so I'm looking at it on I'm looking at the stream manager on my secondary computer and stuff, but yeah, I have no idea. So as far as I know, this is like going to be a completely different game from what I had played before, which I played this like maybe once or twice last year sometime or something like that. I don't even remember. I mean, although, let's face it, I think I bought this during the winter sale, so when I say last year, that was like maybe like, you know, about 6 months ago. Alright, so it looks, at least like if I'm watching the leaf blowing and like, you know, the trees blowing in the wind, it doesn't seem so bad. Oh, the other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to try kicking this into full screen and kind of see what this was going to look like. Because the windowed, it is a very tiny portion of the moment, which that unfortunately is the problem when, because I've got like a, well, because it's a Mac, it's a 5K screen. Not 4, 5 whole K. Which means that looking at something in 1080, which was 1920 by 1080, it's like literally like not even a fifth of the screen. So let me try kicking this into full screen and see if maybe that'll actually even look better. So let's, or I don't know, if I do like a full screen window, which is that really going to be any different? I mean, it looks terrible to me because, you know, again, it's magnified, so it looks all fuzzy and shit. But the tree doesn't really look too laggy, like in terms of the fluttering thing, so. Yep, have to be different? Yes, they do. Which, it's, but I mean, come on, they've been like that all the time. The iPhone, blah, 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 everything else. It's, you know, standards, we'll make our own. But let's face it, Windows wasn't really any better either, so. So this is 1920 by 1124. Instead of 1920 by 1080. So that kind of threw things off a little bit, but it seems to be kind of like, you know, moving nicely. So I can't see the frame rate setting anymore because it's now blocked by the full screen window. but it's still looking like the frame rate is dropping like some shit, so I guess we'll just kind of see. Fortunately, this isn't like, you know, a very serious game with regards to graphic requirement. So let me just check the sound level here. Okay, so it seems like the sound is pretty decent, at least relative to me. I'm sure that if I need to turn it up, you guys will let me know, right? So anyhow, this is good quality, really? God, what happens if I kick this down to medium? Well, I don't see much difference, but... So anyway, alright. Let's go back and let's start a new game because I don't remember where I was to begin with anyway, so what the hell. As a grandma, I need a well-equipped kitchen so I can cook for my lovely grandchildren. Alrighty, well, I guess let's see what happens here. I will try one... Okay, well, this is still roughly the same, I think. So this is our starting hovel. I mean, seriously, a double wide prefab, or even a single wide trailer prefab is larger than this shack. Which this doesn't quite make sense. That scale. Be content with a shack that you can call your office and the laptop that is your command center. What the actual shit? And who in the hell would dump all of their junk directly in front of the door? It's like a warning. Don't come here. So grass is all jacked. So how's the... Oh, look at the tracks. That's interesting. Okay, so it seems like the frame rate's not bad. Or is that supposed to be shadows? Yes, these are shadows from the power lines apparently above us. Hey, not bad. Not bad at all. So, is this the standard walking? Yes, the standard walk, strafe, forward, back. Okay. Mouse to look around. Cleaning not available yet. Okay, so this shack is pretty ridiculous. This is like a tiny home, but not a tiny home. At least it has power. But For real, who the fuck puts this right in front of the... I mean, this is just a jerk move. This is total dick move, man. And you press so-and-so to dispose, but the garbage can is like right there. So what are we disposing? And then, what, I dispose of the garbage can itself? That's kind of weird, but it's time to check emails on your laptop. And yet my... So anyway, nice walkthrough. Wow, look at... Okay. So here are my neighbors' houses, and tell me that's not a Bugatti. That had better damn well not be a Bugatti sitting over there, because big house, you know, big house, you know, well, okay, decent, you know, these are ranches, they're fairly straightforward, right? And then all of a sudden you come over here, and what the hell is this doing in this neighborhood? One of these things is not like the other. Alright, fine. I suddenly feel very good about the fact that I managed to wash dishes today. Or yesterday. The day before. I've actually cleaned my kitchen. Because this. You know, in most places, people wouldn't call this livable. So I can actually dispose of this shit. That's handy. Cleaning is not available yet, but all I gotta do is just pick up shit, huh? Just got a random chainsaw lying around. USA Top News. And don't know, don't care. The laptop will allow you to find jobs, buy houses, and switch between them. Really? Okay. No, I can't afford to buy a house yet, but it looks like you already have your first email. Well, let's take a look. So you think the sounds good? Alright, let's check the email here. Sarah Lewis, ex-boyfriend stole the radiator. Damn. Took the radiator. Face spam. My ex-boyfriend broke into my house, made a huge mess, and stole the radiator. Possible that some other things are missing too. Clean up the house and replace the missing appliances. I would ask you not to inform the police about the whole matter. I will settle it myself with my ex-boyfriend after returning from a business trip. I see. Good luck with that. I guess I'll accept fixing the room. Well, alrighty then. And here we have a hot mess. Congratulations, I have unlocked a new tool, which looks like a crappy ass broom. Now you'll be able to clean dirty stuff using the mop. Okay, I'm sorry, it's not a broom, it's a mop. change the tool with the... Alright, I see. Okay. At least I have 30 grand in the account, but Alright, so first let me clean up the garbage. I mean, damn. There's making a mess, and then there's literally trashing the joint. Welcome back. I am currently on a job where I'm cleaning up where the ex-boyfriend of the client trashed the shit out of her house. Was this the back door? Yes. There isn't anything to do out here, right? Nope. Okie doke. So it's supposed to be the bathroom. You know, all I can say is I hope she settles it appropriately with the ex. How in the hell are the towels clean and everything else just completely hot mess? Fascinating. Alright, so let me change to the cleaning. This is clearly the dark side of home improvement that they don't tell you about. The other thing they don't tell you about is that this is actually utterly tame compared to what true nasty people are all about. I am improving. I have gained experience points. What this really reinforces for me is that I will happily pay a motherfucker to do this. Oh, wait. Is this a dirtiness map? Okay, so that's the missing radiator in the corner there. And what is in here? More trash. Sleep. Yes, let's sleep on a client's bed of all places. I'm sure that'll go over quite well. Okay, so at least I don't have to worry about crap being hidden behind the objects, I guess. Okay. Oh, there we go. So that's how you rotate. Okay. And I guess I'm gonna put you here. A little bit weird, but whatever. The secrets. Well, nothing I can do about that. And fine, let's mount the radiator. From now on, we have a tablet. Press tab. Is that it? No. Is it tab? Yes, it's tab. So we need to mount a radiator. I think it's one of these. Put some eggs on and dropped half the white down the side. Oh, damn. Oh, that sucks. Got me on 2 devices, so yeah, and hey, I can hope, but you know, I appreciate the sentiment regardless. Okay, so I guess this is just gonna go right here. And now I gotta assemble this, which, alrighty. Okay, so how does this work? Oh, you just kind of hold it down, huh? Very simple toolless operation. All right, so job is complete. Income $785 for this. Complete the job. Yes, let us complete it. Oh, yeah, it's like what, morning for you right now? It's 2, so it's like what, about 7? It's about 7:45 or something about your time, isn't it? Well, I guess myself, I can clean up this dumpster fire of a joint here. Apparently some things cannot be cleaned. They must simply be repainted. You cannot do it now. Info, huh? Man. This is pretty bloody gnarly. Can I clean the stains? Yes. Okay. It really says something when you can work on cleaning a place and it ain't looking better even once it's cleaned up. I was about to say it didn't get rid of the cobwebs. What the hell? Work means victory. Wait, is this all? No, it's just a scrappy ass picture. Okay then. I suppose this was asking too much. Whoa. Yeah, not seeing the point of that, but alrighty. What is that in there? Can it be cleaned or is that like... No. Whatever. Okay, so placement is a little wonky. But okay, well, what if see, this is how you know this is only a game and it's not realistic. Because if this were real, I'd be throwing this shit in the sink and just leaving it. And what the heck? Wow, it doesn't let me put it into the sink. But it'll let me put it on the floor, huh? Wait, what? So what happened to the cabinet that I had? Huh. That is not at all. Well, this is kind of bizarre, but it literally, well, let me put stuff on top of here, but wow, that is just trippy. Okay. If it were realistic, you'd be crying in the shower. What shower am I on? I mean, at best, I can just kind of peer into the toilet longingly. Yeah. Now, BST now, I'd be right in the winter. Okay, shit. You're already on BST? I'm still in daylight over, daylight time over in this area. Alright, so what are the other jobs that I've got here? I think I can do one more and then I'm gonna probably head off to bed. What time is it? Because, oh wow. I didn't realize this is for realsy time. Who knew? Well, okay. So in that case, I don't think I have time to run another, because I need to actually go ahead and get to bed because I got to get up in the morning. Radiators and cleaning the garage. Satisfied or you get... Jeez. I will pay you if I'm fully satisfied or you get nothing. Winter is coming. The winters are hard and there are no radiators in my house. Mount them. Fuck you. How about kiss my ass, asshole? Damn. You know, I'm sorry. You're gonna go ahead and come at me like a dick like that? Go install your own fucking radiators. Jesus, man. Don't forget to clean the window too. It's better not to touch the tools though. My husband doesn't like when someone moves them and you can't find them afterward. Can I do this? Alright, I'll try one more. I'll just do this one and then at this point then I'll call it quits. When you buy and sell each house, you unlock the ability to buy them multiple times. Oh, really? So, don't touch the tools, but all these nasty-ass boxes are fair game. Oh, what a nice little ranch. With a huge yard. Holy crap, man. Look at that. Alright, anyway, all I need to do is get in here. And remove trash, clean dirt, clean the window. Gee, it's pretty straightforward. Well, let's get rid of the trash. Sure hope he didn't need these old tires. Okay, seriously, there's one car in the driveway, and yet there's like at least 2 cars worth of tires sitting here. Yet another skill point. New cleaning skill. Press the button below. Whoops, missed. I take that back. Okay, so these are new tires. These are old tires. I mean, seriously, how many freaking times did you rotate your shit? Sacre bleu, I've missed these. Dispose. Said don't touch the tools. Didn't say anything about not touching whatever the hell this shit is. Okay, so clean the dirt. really wish that all I had to do was just wave around a broom a little bit at a stain and it would just automatically magically clean its shit up. I mean, I ask you, is that asking too much? It seems like it'd be perfectly reasonable as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Wait, how does this work? Oh, this is annoying as crap. I mean, this really requires you to not have a very cramped mouse space. Because if you have a cramped mouse space, this is a royal PIA. Let me tell ya. I know, that's the first thing. I'm like, am I trying to shave this? I mean, what the hell did they give me, like, you know, a beard trimmer for? But apparently it's a handheld vacuum, which again is not something that I would have used to clean a window with, but you know what, not my, I just work here. Wouldn't have been what I did, but you know, it appears to be working. I have never seen anybody dry or like vacuum a window like this. And yeah, seriously, you have to have enough desk space to do this, which I unfortunately do not. So how do I know when I'm done? Oh, okay. Clean dirt, 85%. What do you mean only 85%? Why this window got stubble? Yeah, I don't know, man. I just work here too. Clean the dirt to complete the job. So why I'm at 85%? Didn't say anything about fixing up this mess, but you know what? I'll make it nice and oh, okay, so the tire tracks do actually come up. So apparently I had to clean up the dirt first. Okay, so 100%. Let's clean up the job. I mean, let's complete the job. Also, what were those skill? 2 points in cleaning. Penetrating vision. See some dirt on the minimap. See most dirt. Fast hands 25 and good range. Long range. The Ultra Hyper Mop 2018. Multiple trash disposal. 75% cleaning. You know what? Let's see most dirt on the map. And let's go for a Ultra Hyper Mop 2018. Shazam. Whatever. Okay. Not sure if I'd call those perks, but whatever. Oh. I didn't get that. It's just... Okay, I got the basics. Whatever. Oh, hey. A pretty mop as opposed to that shitty mop. But I'm done, so. Complete the job. 476. Considering that only took me 8 minutes. Although, had this been a real job, that would have probably taken an hour. Still not bad. It might have taken 2. So yes, let's complete the job. We need a room which can be used by the what family? Who are these people? I don't know you. You're like the pictures that come with the frames. Which, yeah. That always kind of cracks me up. It's like, I know they're for illustrative purposes only and stuff, but at the same time, it's like, it reminds me of that movie with the birds. It's like, wow, look at this woman. She's a looker and stuff. Is that your girlfriend? You know, guy picks up a picture frame looking at this picture. It's like, no, it came with the frame. Okay. Camera tab, take photos of the game and save your works on the disk. By using the gallery tab on the tablet, you can choose any image from your hard disk and use it as a poster. Oh no, that's dangerous. Okay. That is dangerous. I'm not sure if I can safely do that on stream. But it has potential. I'm about to throw up a bunch of VShojo posters or something. Gonna have Bez and Lumi in the corners and stuff. And okay, but good to know. No, I did not notice that until now. Thanks for bringing it up. That's funny. But let's see here. It is. Yeah, I've been going for about another 3 hours at this point, so, and it is also after 3. I'm gonna go ahead and, I keep forgetting this is actual live time. So yes, I am going to go ahead and call this here for now. Oh wow, look at that. Look at some dirt, and there's like dirt all over the joint, or I think that's dirt. Wouldn't it be kind of funny if that's like, you know, if all the spots on the actual little mini-map there, they're not spots of dirt, they're just dirt on the mini-map. That'd be pretty hilarious. So, alright man, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's just kind of take it back to the nighttime view here. And let me come back over. So yeah, that was actually pretty cool. That's not bad. Yeah, man, thanks for coming by. I saw that you were actually kind of lurking, you know, the whole time, even like, you know, while the stream was down and stuff, you know, so thanks for hanging out and stuff, and, you know, glad you kind of came back in and everything. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just quit while I'm ahead. I'm not going to try to raid out or anything like that. But thank you so much for everybody else who also came by, hung out, you know, Lumi, Bez, everybody else, you know, Lemon, and and all of the other lurkers who are just kind of coming back and vibing in the background, which is all good. That's cool. You don't have to come say hi and stuff. It's, like I said, this is just all about a nice, like, you know, kind of lurking, easy, chill-zoned place to relax. So, yeah. Oh, you were streaming? No, that's cool, that's cool. Hey, still appreciate you came by and everything, so. Still all good. But, alright, man. Thanks so much. And I will be back on Thursday night. Probably doing, like, you know, again, some more reading streams. You know, or doing lines, you know, custom line redeems, stuff like that. Whatever else just kind of comes up. But again, thanks for coming out and hanging, everybody, and I hope you guys stay chill and just, you know, hey, keep up the comfy vibes.